Hello guys, CJX here. Today we're gonna do some more puzzles on chesskit.com. I know the last time I've done that was probably months ago, but let's get started. My goal of reaching 3200 is still not over. So let's get started. Okay, let's see this puzzle. This puzzle, the black king, the last move was king f7 to g6, and already I could already see that this is gonna be like a mating position. It's gonna be like a mating net because white's down a piece. White only has a pawn for a piece, and the pawns are not promoting anytime soon. So probably the only chance for white to win this game is to weave a mating net, and the fact that, as you can see, all these squares are controlled by white's pieces. So only this square is yeah, you can see only this square is available for black's king. So yeah, from these features we can already see that this is going to be a mating net position. Now there are quite some ways to make a mating net position. Of course, if I can get this pawn to f5 safely and force the king back to h7, I could take the h7 pawn and my pawn might promote. But as of currently, the knight is guarding f5. So so that plan is not going to work out unless we force a knight move, which is really hard because this rook is protecting the knight. So we look for other tries. If you notice, these two squares are kind of controlled by the black king. I mean, controlled by white's pieces, right? So now, this square is blocked in by black's pawn. So if we could get like a rook to maybe the 6th rank, and control the square at the same time, the king will be checkmated. If you can get a rook here, and there's actually one direct way to do it, and that is go to rook f8 to f6. Now, when you see a good move, like I said, you always want to look for a better one. So, but I don't see any better moves. The only other check, rook g8, fails to knight g8. So I'm pretty sure that the best move is rook f8. So let's try it. Rook f8 is correct. Knight d5. Now the black prevents this move. Now one thing I could try is to play f4, but the knight can check me, and after king f3, knight f5. White has no more than a draw. So clear that I need to look for something else. Of course, like I said, rook f6 is impossible. So let's look at this other check, rook g8. That's the only check that's possible, and I think this works because after rook g8, the king is forced to go to f7, and I can play rook g7 check and skew with the rook. So that was that puzzle. That puzzle was kind of a simple one. Let's move on to the next puzzle. Okay, this puzzle. The white pawn, white has an outside pass pawn, a far away pawn on h5, and black has one black bishop that is controlling the square. Now, from my experience in these type of endgames, this bishop, a bishop has a lot of trouble against the h pawn because there's only one diagonal, and the stronger side can just use a knight or a pawn or a bishop to just block in the bishop, and that bishop won't be able to go anywhere. In fact, if white has a bishop, white could already win by getting his bishop to this diagonal and trapping this bishop on a1. So, but here white has a knight, so it's clear that white has to win this one. So the puzzle is going to focus on blocking. It's going to focus on blocking using a blockade and to block this diagonal so that the white pawn can promote. Now, in general, when you have a pass pawn, you should always look for the first move you should look at is to push the pawn. So h6. Now h6 is of course, after h6, I need to consider other moves like king to d5. And here it seems that it's kind of a problem because white pawn can go to h7, but after king e6, it's really difficult for white to somehow control. I mean, somehow block this diagonal. If white plays king e4 after king e6, so yeah, after h6, king d5, h7, king e6, king e4, stranded knight e4, black can play bishop h8, or another try would be to play king f7, and after knight e4, king g7, the white pawn is lost. white pawn cannot promote, and this is a losing position. I mean, that will be a draw. So I will go turn to the other principle, which is to first make a blockade. And now it seems that this blockade might actually be very strong. Okay, I don't really mean a blockade, but basically shouldering. That's the word I'm trying to use. So king e4, this move, not only it prepares knight e4 if the black king, say, gets somewhere else, say b5. It also kind of prevents king d5. And it seems that this move is a very strong move. Now, after king e4, white's idea is basically to play h6, knight g7, and king f5, g6, and then h7. If the black king cannot reach f7 by then, or at least say g8 by then, this position, yeah, it's basically white's pawn will just promote. So basically, let me show this again. Basically, white wants to play h6, knight put on g7, so the knight will be blocking this diagonal, and his king wants to reach g6 and push his pawn to the ace rank and promote. As we said, or for my previous analysis, if I play h6 right now, the king will go to d5, and of course white could play king knight g7, and that actually looks like somewhat strong. My initial idea might actually not be that good, because king 4 definitely moves the king a little bit further away from g6, so it still should be the same distance away from g6, but it gives black some time, whereas h6 already set up the plan. And after king d5, knight g7 actually prevents king e6. So now we could look on this line a little bit further, and if black king go to d6, I could play king f5, king e7, king g6, and now, but black can play king f8. And it seems that black is just in time to stop the push of the white h pawn, because if white plays h7, black will take on g7, take the knight on g7, and black pawn will just promote. I mean, black will stop the pawn and win the knight, making white unable to win the game. But normally, but in such situations, one should always look further. So after king f8, I see that I can move my knight here, and it seems that this move actually might be very, very strong, because if the king goes to g8, h7 check, king h8 only move, and after knight g5, knight f7 mate is unstoppable. So that could be actually the win. So after knight e6, black king cannot go to g8. The black king have to go to e8. And now, if I play h7, black can play bishop h8, and I could play knight to g7, king to f8, but after that, it just seems that it's really hard for white to make progress at this point. I think I saw an endgame where Gary Kasparov played as the black side of this endgame, and he was able to hold a draw. Or was he playing white? I don't remember, but basically I seen a master game where basically white's pawn got to h7, but the black bishop, by sticking on h8, was able to stop. Basically stop the white pawn from promoting. So now after all these calculations, I still don't see a clear line. Let's see the king e4, because we still haven't come to a conclusion yet for this line. After king c5, h6. Now the king will really be a fool if he goes to c6, because I can play knight g7, king d7, king f5, king e7. So it seems to be leading to the same thing. I feel like this line might lead to the same thing. I don't want to play king first. I almost accidentally made that move. Okay. Now, but however, it seems that I might actually have another idea. I might do this. King g5. This move, unlike h6, it gets his king to g6 immediately. And then, if the black bishop is blocked off, it's pretty obvious that the white pawn will promote to h8, will go to h8 and promote scot-free. So king h8, king g5 is my third candidate move. I already look at h6 and king e4, and both positions allow black's king to reach f8 just in time and somehow to save the game. Before white's pawn go to h7, of course. So king g5, black king can go to d5, white king can go to g6, king e6, knight g7 check. The black bishop cannot take because after king g7, king f5, h6, the white pawn promotes. So king e7, forced to move again, h6, again, same thing. It seems that black king was able to reach f8 right when white's pawn is on h6 in all of these lines, making me very, very confused. So, at this moment, I don't know what to do at this point. Now, I don't know what happened right there, but, wait a second. Okay, okay. I don't know what to do right here. How many time has been spending on this? I don't know, but I've considered 3 candidate moves, and all three of these moves look kind of same. Except I've been wondering one thing. Oh, except I kind of forgot one thing. The knight can also go d4 if you can play king e4. So after king e4, king c5, h6. If black plays king c6, I look at king g7, king d7, king f5, king e8, and same thing. Kind of the same thing. But white can actually place knight d4 check. For example, what I mean was after king e4, king c5, h6, king c6, knight e4 check. Now this check just blocks the diagonal completely. It blocks this diagonal completely, and the black king cannot take it because after we trade, the black king is way far away from the h pawn. It cannot reach the h8 square in time. So the black king can go d7 and h7, and the white promotes. So it's clear that after king e4, king c5, h6, the black bishop must move somewhere. One way square it could go to is to f6, but then it allows the whites to play knight fg7, king d6, king f8, king f5, I mean, king e7, and after king g6, now what do we have here? The bishop. The white king is also attacking the bishop. So basically the black king cannot reach f8 because the white will take the bishop instead. So after king e4, bishop f6 doesn't work. Black will try king h8, bishop h8, but after king knight g7, king d6, king f5, king e7, king g6, king to f8, the black king is just one step late, and the white king reaches h7, trapping the bishop, forcing the black bishop to take on, or actually forcing the black bishop to take on g7. Pawn takes g7, and white pawn will promote. Black will try king f7, king h8, king to g6, but after h7, king to f7. Now this position will be a draw if the white knight is on a white square, because the white knight cannot lose the move and put black in Zugzwang. But here the white knight is on g7, so the white knight can just move to e6, king, and yeah, at e6 it prevents the king from going to f8 square, and as a result, after king e6, king g7, and the white pawn will promote. So it seems that from after all these calculations, king e4 is the right move. Let's try it. Of course it's wrong. I don't know. I don't know what happened right there. But oh wait, I think I knew this one. I knew this one from a chess.com tactic. This knight here takes e3, and then bishop c5. Yeah, bishop c5, just putting the bishop on c5, targeting. And after queen to e5, black has this amazing move, queen to d3. And yeah, and I solved that one. So I think, okay, yeah, that was a pretty fast puzzle, but yeah, basically, yeah, this puzzle I encountered like a year ago. But what happened to that puzzle? I want to really know what happened to that puzzle. So I'm gonna search up, I guess. I don't know. Oh, SYZYGY. I'm gonna just look at that puzzle. I don't know because from all of my calculations, it seems that King 4 was the move. Pretty sure H5 could be was also strong. Yeah. Oh wait, H6, and then what happens after King D5? Oh, King G5. Now after here, King G6. Now the barrier is just way too strong because after here, now this position is just completely winning for white. So I guess yeah. But even though I still got the points, I still got some points. I mean, because after King E4, what can Black do? Black can okay. Black to move. Yeah, King C5 allows H. What? Wait. H6. Black doesn't need to go there. And after that, this is a draw. This is a draw. I already saw this as a draw, but the black bishop doesn't have to go there. If the black bishop was on H8, then after King here, Knight 6 is a win. But what I missed was that White can switch the plans. I consider like two moves. Yeah, the two plans was King G5. King G5 fails to King D5, or I mean King D6 wins as well. Actually, King D5 is actually bad defense. But what Black? Yeah, apparently King D5 loses for some extreme reasons. Oh, Bishop B2, H6, Bishop C1 check. Yeah, this move, Bishop B2, C1 check, just controlling that square. So that was actually a really move I missed. Yeah, King G5 allows that plan as well. That could also be a draw. But King D5, what happened was that I saw H6, King G6. So the point is basically yeah, basically you just want to get. I don't know why they consider King 4, but H6. After H6, Bishop to B2. White had to play King G4. So like my original plan was King D5, like Knight G7, controlling E6. But after King D6, this allows Black White to reach it. Basically, what White wanted to do, what White must do in this position is to reach G6. The plan was actually to put the king on G6, not on knight on G7. This plan would have won the game. This position would be a win. The Black's best defense is the move Bishop to B2, and after H6, no, that's not it. So yeah, in this position, so okay, so in this position, like after H6, Bishop to say B2, King G4 is the only move because King G5 allows Bishop C1, and King D5, King H5. Now Bishop to H8. White King G6 also win. King G6, King E6 is the fastest way to go. Or I mean, okay, let me just restart this position a bit. Okay, so H6, King Bishop B2, King G4, King D5, King H5. The king have to avoid the H7 square. I mean the G5 square. Bishop H8. Oh wait. Oh, Bishop C1 attacking the pawn. You can see like this move. This move isn't the best because the DTZ value is the least. But after Bishop C1, forcing the white pawn to go to H7 and losing the grip on G7, the back bishop moves it back. King G6, that's the yeah, that's really hard to see. After Bishop H8, Knight King G7, King E5, King F7, King D6, and now King J will actually be a draw because after King E7, King H8, King F8, and now we have this position where the knight to move is the knight is on the same square as the king. That means that it's impossible for the white to get rid, to force the black king off of these two squares. So what happened was that after king d6, king f8 is the only move to win. King d7, and now knight h5. The knight moves away. King d8, knight f4, forcing attacking bishop. The king on f8 prevents black from doing all kinds of stuff. Knight to g, king g8, now attacking the bishop. So now, like, if the black king goes to e8, now I can play knight e6, king e7, knight g7, and you can see the knight controls the square e8. So now that's impossible for the black king to. Now, no matter where the black king goes after taking on h8, the black king cannot reach f8. So one way you could say is that this, we can see if this white move, it will be a draw. But if but yeah, basically what happened was that so in this position, if black king goes to e7, then knight g6 will be a win. But if the knight goes to e8, this will be Zook's one for black. And so the best defense for black in this position is to play bishop to b2, knight e6, check, king d7, knight g7, and after queening, the mate would take another 20 moves, but yeah, that was a really crazy endgame. I don't know how ChessKid saw someone solve that, but at least I was able to solve this puzzle, which is knight takes e3 check. I mean, yeah. So yeah. Anyways, I guess hope you enjoyed it. I guess that really this amazing endgame. This amazing endgame was really amazing. I had to look at table base to find out the win here, but that win was really amazing. Was that puzzle that long? I don't know. Was that puzzle like all the way to 97? No way that could be true. But anyways, yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. And with that being said, bye guys. See you in the next video.